Welcome to Neat Tech, presented to you by Nathan Mumm and Mark Gregoire, starting now.
Welcome to Neat Tech, where whiskey meets innovation. Pour yourself a glass and tune in to our newest radio segment where we discuss whiskey and dive into cutting-edge technology topics. Each episode will explore the intersection of technology and our whiskey. Each pour has a story. Every bite of tech connects the way we experience the world. Sit back, sip neat, and join us for a bold conversation about whiskey and the technology shaping our future. Neat whiskey, smart tech, no chaser. Now we're here with myself, Mark, and our buddy Nathan, and behind the board is Odie as normal.
Yep.
And today's pour is always the smooth Eagle Rare.
Okay.
10-year Kentucky straight bourbon with just the right depth to match our tech topic. NFC chips.
Okay, near field communication chips.
Correct. We'll dive into how these tiny embedded tags are showing up in whiskey bottles, from Buffalo Trace to Johnnie Walker, as a way to verify authenticity and engage customers. And it does not stop at the bar. NFC is making its way across the consumer market, even into something as unexpected as fingernails, which
That's
Nathan
right.
knows about. That was a Nathan nugget on a few episodes ago. And it's blending fashion with function in surprising new ways. Let's raise a glass and tap into the tech.
Okay.
So first of all, Nathan, explain to our audience what NFC chips are. You just told us what the acronym was, but tell us what they actually are.
So the idea of this is it's kind of a mini processor or a mini computer that stores information. All right. So NFC chips have the ability to have records that then go on out and have information on what you would need to do for an ID, what you would need to do for an identification process. And it gives you the whole idea about the near field. It gives you about 8 to 10 feet of connectivity. Once you move outside of that area, you can get yourself a little bit in trouble because it may not pick up. But the whole idea of this is originally used for security doors, scanning in. You had like a little prox card that you would have, and you would come up and you'd put it and say, this is the ID of the person. This is the person logging in. Still used for that today. But that was kind of the idea, is that it would give identity to somebody and information, and as it has evolved, there's more and more information it can store.
Right. And then one of the new usage or later usages now, as we talked about in the intro, is distillers like Buffalo Trace and Johnnie Walker are embedding NF tags in their bottles to help with anti-counterfeiting.
Okay.
Now,
so I did not know that until we were doing a little prep work for this.
So we're going to talk about how it works and does it actually help.
All right.
We have our Eagle Rare here, which does not have a chip in it because it's just your standard off the shelf store.
Okay.
The higher BTAC, which is the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, which is the once-a-year release. There's an Eagle Rare 17-year.
Okay.
That has the NFC chip. I don't have one of those, but I do have a George T. Stagg.
It has an NFC chip in there?
That's part of the BTAC collection, and that does. So Buffalo Trace actually has their own app. So you take your phone, and you talked about the near... You have to be near. So I actually had to take off my back cover off of it.
Because you had probably some RFID inhibitors for your credit cards, probably. Yep, okay, that makes sense. So it wasn't seeing it out.
And so I'm running the Buffalo Trace app, and all you do is you come over, and it scans it in.
Oh, and then would it give you even a photo?
Well, they haven't done this feature. They want to put a photo, but the main thing that you look on the BTAC is it says this product is authenticated by the company and has never been opened.
Okay.
So now you supposedly know that it's never been opened and it's not a counterfeit bottle.
Okay.
And then it gives you a little bit about what George T. Stagg is.
A little commercial.
Notes, a little commercial.
All right.
And so a lot of the bottles have those commercials. Johnnie Walker has it in there, and it has a lot of information. It's on the Johnnie Walker Blue, I believe.
Okay.
Which is the...
So let me ask you, okay, so totally awesome tech. But if I'm at a bar and I'm ordering a drink, that's how I normally order my drinks, how am I going to know... If do I take my NFC chip up there, or is this really just for bartenders? This isn't for consumers. Who's going to use this?
This is so when I bought this bottle, first thing I did is I scanned it before I paid my money to see if it was authenticated.
Okay,
and to make sure it was not been opened.
Okay.
In a way, it's a lot because a lot of people go back and used to take these bottles, buy them off eBay, empty bottles, fill them with cheap whiskey, recork them, re-put a little seal on the top.
Oh, really?
Which is really easy to do.
Okay.
And they and sell them. So a lot of the auction houses for whiskey, a lot of it has been faked.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you get a kind of a lower end version of the deal, and you put it in there, and then you sell it for okay.
Yeah.
That I can see that making sense.
And what it is
but if you had old school whiskey that's worth a lot of money, like a Pappy's or something like that from a long time ago, they're not going to have the NFC chip in there. So it's kind of this is for the newer stuff.
This is the newer stuff coming out now.
What are you saying, Odie?
Wait, so just to confirm, you can't fake this, or you can?
It's harder to fake.
It's gonna be tough.
So
it's gonna be tough because there's gonna be a chip in here. Yep.
So let me do this. So the chip is at the top,
Okay.
on the bottom, and there's actually little wires that go down through the seal.
Okay.
So when you open the tab around,
It's gonna break that
it
seal.
breaks those wires, which tells the chip that it's been opened.
So it's probably the chip's intact. So it's probably just a very simple code of like dev whatever equals 1, and then once you have it, then you're gonna have your code that says equals 0, and then all of a sudden now it knows that it was open.
It knows it's been opened.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Thank you for breaking that down into geek speak.
Would you like that geek speak breaking down there? Okay. Well, there. I mean,
Now,
Because I didn't know how that would register, but now I know.
now you know. So it's a 0 and a 1. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's actually that simple because it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that.
no. And then it also has like secret serial numbers in there that check backs to the database on the website. So even if you put a fake NFC and you try and program it, you can only program it for a particular serial number, and they already know if open or not open.
Really?
Mhm.
So they have a live server database.
That's why it goes back to
that it's gonna then open, and now it'll say it's open. So now it's equals 0, and never ever again can it ever be there.
Correct.
Huh?
Yeah.
Now,
I did
there's a
not know
YouTube
that they
channel.
did that for whiskey.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel called Whiskey Tribe, and they have a great. If you go look them up, they have a great episode that talks about this.
Okay.
And he actually took a knife, slid it open, and took the cover off,
Yeah.
and they were able to still register it as not being open. And as long as you cut it just around that wire,
Yeah.
you can take it off.
Oh.
I figured, yeah.
So
Now, the thing
Mark's
So
telling you the
it's not
secret.
bulletproof.
It's not bulletproof, but
Okay.
they said, the amount of energy it takes to get it just right.
Yeah.
And then you have to put it back on and reseal it. So you can't take another seal and just stick it on. And they always have a special label on top.
Okay.
You have to use the same MSC chip. Then you would have to seal that cut.
Yep.
And that's very difficult to do. So always check your seal.
Okay.
Plus the NFC chip. So with those combinations, it deters most people, just like the club on a car. An expert thief can get around that in 2 seconds.
Yeah, they
but
just
that's
cut the steering
That's
wheel.
going to deter 90%, 95% of your people out there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, let me. Okay. Well, we can talk more about NFCs. All right, let me ask you: are we going to actually open it and see if it works?
We are not.
Okay. Okay. I was waiting for you to actually open it. No, you want to sell it back to your.
I'm not. That one is not. I just actually got that yesterday.
Is that from a friend?
That's a 2024
Okay.
stag.
Okay.
It was a friend up in Bellingham,
Okay.
and he won it in a raffle, and he gave it to me for the price that he paid. So I got it for MSRP, which is unheard of for this type of whiskey.
That's good.
So we'll save it. We might open a George C. Stag on a celebration for Tech Time. I don't have a problem with that at all because whiskey is meant to be shared with loved ones.
Okay. That sounds very nice.
If
Thank
you do
Mark.
do that, Mark, be sure to screen record your phone. All right.
I love that idea, Odie.
You're welcome.
Odie will be on top
Now,
of
the
that.
next question that we want to talk
Did
about.
you like that other whiskey that you tasted today or no?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it was because that I had coffee before. Because when I breathed in,
No, it had the coffee taste in the actual whiskey.
I don't know. It just was super peppery to me.
It was. Yeah, same here.
All right. The next question that we have
Yes.
is, do you think this tech adds value for the average whiskey drinker, or is it more for collectors or enthusiasts? Now that you guys know.
Absolutely. I already kind of said this because I'm at the bar. I don't really care. I order the drink and I want it from the certain bottle. I'm probably, as a consumer, not going to make any difference if it's NFC or not. But for a collector, absolutely, right? This is like your PSA ratings for collectible cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is like your authentication certificate for memorabilia that you get with a signature from some star. So this would be the way to say that this is an official, came from us, no bootleggers did anything in between. So yeah, I think this is not expensive. So an NFC chip to put this in here, the technology on the back end was probably some dev times and a lot of work to get it done. But the actual chips themselves, I mean, these are like pennies on the dollar to get these chips. So if you have them pre-programmed, this is like 2 cents that you're adding to the cost of this bottle.
Yep, I'm in full agreement with you. I think regular consumers generally don't find or purchase these bottles. You don't find these on the shelf very often anyways. So this is more for collectors and enthusiasts.
Now, do they have these at like standard areas like a Wines and More? If I went to one of those, which is not like high end, but they do have some high end stuff. Would
They usually do these
chips?
through a raffle.
Okay.
And they would have the chips on them so you can check it. But those type of distribution channels are usually very reliable and they don't usually have fake whiskey.
Okay. It's when you have these auctions and other stuff that
liquor
you do.
stores, odd liquor stores that you're not sure of, mom and pops. Sometimes they buy bottles from people and resell.
Okay.
Now, outside of whiskey, let's move on from whiskey. Outside of whiskey, what are some of the more interesting and surprising uses of
NFCs?
NFC in consumer products?
Well, I mean, so people have these. Some people have these in clothing, right? You use them a lot in if you go to a theme park. If you go to a theme park and you're going to be scanning in and doing stuff.
I didn't think about the clothing aspect.
Yeah.
Now a whole store just makes sense to me.
Yeah. There's one particular clothing item that uses them quite frequently or has been increasing in frequency. It's shoes.
Shoes. That makes sense.
Shoes, especially high-end sneakers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if you're buying a Nike pair for $400 and you're going to keep it for a while, then you're going to probably want to make sure that that's legit and not the same factory in China that put it together and they have the knockoff.
I know this isn't your guys' realm, but have you guys ever gone to Uniqlo?
I have not.
So the store doesn't have any sensors on anything.
Okay.
And when you go and you buy, it's like a self-checkout.
Yeah.
And then you just scan it and then you just walk right out. And my sister and I couldn't figure out what it was that it just knows. Because when people walk out with an item accidentally, the store beeps.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. I never thought about an NFC chip.
Yeah.
Like that.
Instead of the big, huge, remember those big white tags they used to have for clothing? Now you could put that in much smaller. Okay.
Yep. Now, Nathan, coming from a security perspective, is there privacy or data concerns when NFC-enabled personal items like fingernails or clothing?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I have a device that I got on a Kickstarter. We actually talked about on the store that if I'm anywhere within the NFC, I can actually duplicate the NFC itself for however long I want to have it. So if I'm within 10 feet from you and you have an NFC chip that is there, I can actually read it. I can actually clone it. I can actually copy it. And then I can just walk up to whatever that security chip works and immediately have that taken care of.
I would love to use that after the show on this bottle.
Oh, okay. That would be very interesting.
Something not the app reading it. What does your device actually show?
Oh, so the next thing is I have to find it. so in my junk and stuff. But yes, I have a special device that I have done that with, and I've cloned almost every NFC chip that I've had. It's been able to clone it.
So that's really the danger is the cloning aspect.
It's really simple.
And actually reading.
Really
Because like people in the fingernails, as you talked about on the Tech Time show, they're using it to distribute information. So they want people to read it.
Yes.
But they don't want people to actually necessarily clone their chip.
Yeah, so that's why in the future of what we're going to do with these NFC chips is that we'll start putting chips like on people's hands or on people's bodies. So all of a sudden, then when someone dies in the sci-fi film, they cut off the guy's hand so that they have the NFC chip on there and they can take it.
Wow.
That's a perfect segue to my next question for you.
What's that?
NFCs in wearables or everyday accessories replace things like ID badges, keys, or business cards?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the future.
Is the question, can they or
It's
will
when.
they?
They're already doing
Can they and will they?
Yes,
Both.
absolutely will.
I
They're
don't think
already
they
doing that
will,
now.
though.
What?
I don't think they will.
Yeah, they will.
But will it become a mainstream
No,
thing?
absolutely.
I don't
Why
think
wouldn't
so.
you? Why wouldn't you put a chip on your body that has all the information that you need to do? And then if you go to the clothing store that you were just talking about, and you walk out, now you don't have to get anything out. You just walk out. They charged you, and you're ready to go.
Right, but from a extremist standpoint, people would fight against that
Why is that?
because they're weird
Okay.
and they are against innovation. Do you understand what I'm talking
Well,
about?
are you starting to go like religious on us
Yeah,
now? Well,
not me.
I know.
But thinking about, because like everything that has come out technology-wise, it's always been some sort of pushback from the
religious,
extremists.
right? Yeah. Well, credit cards, they had
Yeah.
information with magnetic strips, and that was going to kill you. And
just-
everybody said no. And now all those religious people and all the people are now having credit cards. So what it is,
Right,
it's
but
just
to
this
put it on
adoption
your
over time.
body?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like
Okay,
a wearable
put it
tech would be
on
more.
your body or in your
Oh,
body?
I think of both. I think in your body. Absolutely.
On your body, like a wearable bracelet that you just like
Or
Amazon.
under your skin
No,
in
under
your
skin.
hand.
Under your skin.
Yeah,
I can't see that.
Oh, that'll happen. absolutely what happened.
Well, we know it's happened already.
I already know people that have done that. Yeah. Absolutely.
But mainstream.
Oh yeah, why wouldn't you? In 100 years from now?
I don't see that happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In like the next 10 years.
But you need
maybe not the next 10 years. No, you don't. They're not going to care about that.
You don't want somebody like you going around and cloning them and then creating duplicates.
So they'll probably have passive and active. So most of the NFCs are passive devices. So there's not actual electricity that's running the device. But what they're going to come out with is ones that have algorithms that change every 10 seconds, just as you do with your standard authentication app where it goes through and it changes numbers. Once you start having the battery life and the ability to have an active NFC chip, now you're going to have scrambled letters that change, and then you're going to have stuff and that will be more secure. So it'll just continue to advance as technology goes.
I'm thinking of like, imagine let's say random number, 20 years from now, everybody's got this stuff in their skin. There's no privacy anymore, like at all.
Was there any privacy now?
Well,
every single time you search on the internet, they know what they got.
Well, not me, but if I were just some random person out on the street and I were to die, and I don't have my wallet on me, I don't have an ID, I've never been fingerprinted, I'm pretty okay for a year or two.
No,
unless somebody.
Did you ever go in and get your Washington State driver's license picture taken care of?
Yeah.
Did you put your fingerprints on when you did that?
I don't remember.
Yes,
probably.
Yeah. Okay. So it's.
See, I'm just thinking of like SVU standpoint when they would find like a.
Okay, let me just tell you, SVU is a completely different subject. That's all fake on technology. You cannot take a picture of a car and zoom in and then have the license plate come clean, and then you're just like, "Wow, that's what we got. Look at our technology."
What I'm talking about. I'm talking about those people, like a homeless person that winds up dead.
They'll have tracking of that.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. If let's say if you're a homeless person and you need help with government assistance for food or stuff like that, then all of a sudden you're going to need to have something so they can identify you as you travel. And the only way you're going to do it is not through ID, but here you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I see that now.
I think that will. I think you'll have some religious people that choose not to get it for a certain amount of time, and then I think they will cave it at a certain time.
Well, it wouldn't just be religious. Also people that...
Extremists.
Well, not just extremists either. A lot of people that don't like, big government or don't like people sharing their data or expressing it.
But you got to remember, technology advances, and as technology advances and generations advance, 100 years from now is going to be quite a bit different than what we are now.
All right. Well, as we wrap up here, Nathan, anything else for NFC as we finish our whiskey?
No, I have NFC, at least like 10 or 15 NFC devices that I carry most of the time. I have ones to get in my job at work. I get ones to get in my home. We have NFC tags to get into my house. So, I mean, that is how you can get in and out of my house.
I'll have to borrow that tool and clone that.
There you go. Well, I've actually cloned them before and then bought a third-party device that was much cheaper than the actual chips so that I could have a third-party device and do it. But
that makes you feel secure in your home, doesn't it?
No, but I got a gazillion and a half blink cameras. And so I guess if you just kind of come up there you go. All right.
What do you think of the whiskey?
I think we've had this before. Absolutely. Thumbs up. This is great whiskey.
It is. It's a nice standard, great introduction into anybody that wants to get into whiskey. This is a great one to this was my introduction whiskey.
So you're okay.
Yeah, I was at Buffalo Trace Distillery with a business tour and tasted some of the whiskey, and then I tasted this one and I was like, wow, that was terrific.
Is that how you became a lover of whiskey?
Yeah, that kind of opened it up.
Wow, so that's like a generational beginning origin story of Mark.
That's where I got into whiskey a little bit earlier when we moved to different Portland, and we did Burnside bourbon.
Okay.
And that kind of got me into things.
Does your multiverse Mark also like it too?
He does.
Okay.
Every version of Mark in the multiverse.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you watching or listening as we drink a little whiskey and talk a little tech. Neat whiskey, smart tech, no chaser. Thank you again.
See you guys later.
That was Neat Tech. Now, how about watching some of our bloopers? See you next time.
Pour yourself a glass and tune into our nudist. I'm going to start over.
Nudist. I like our nudists.
Take off that shirt, buddy.
There you go.
I did the same thing last time. That's what took me half the time as I messed up the intro.
I think you did. The nudist.